The next step is to move over to sheet number 3, heat loss and cost. This sheet was designed to help you establish how much it was going to cost to heat your particular greenhouse with the conditions that you've set. The first setting that you need to adjust is going to be the number of fuel sources. So you can choose between 1 or 2 fuel sources. The next decision you need to make is what your primary fuel source is going to be and what your secondary fuel source is going to be. Now, to make this easy, we've given you a huge list of different types of fuels that you can choose, as well as different units that the fuels can be selected in. So the primary fuel source in your greenhouse is likely going to be some fossil or readily available fuel that you can use that will allow your greenhouse to stay above the temperature that you've set in the initial sheet. The reason to do this is that if you're trying to grow food in your greenhouse 4 seasons of the year, you're going to want to have some sort of backstop measure that's going to automatically turn on and make sure that your greenhouse does not go below its critical temperature. I know that in Alberta that I can get natural gas for about $3 a gigajoule. And I know that I can find a heater that gets at least 85% efficient. This means that the heater is going to utilize 85% of the energy and put it into the actual greenhouse itself. Now, the next choice you need to make is how often you think your primary heater is going to be functioning. So in this particular greenhouse, I'm going to assume that the natural gas heater is going to operate 25% of the time, with the other 75% of the time being my secondary fuel. So for my secondary fuel, I'm going to assume that I'm going to use wood, that my wood is not going to cost me anything because I'm going to be able to get scrap wood for free, and that my wood combustor is going to have an efficiency of 80%. I can then choose the species of wood that we're going to be utilizing, and I'm going to assume that I'm going to be burning pallets, which means that the wood is likely going to be pine, which will set the amount of energy that that particular species has per ton or per unit of measure. Now, because my wood stove is going to meet my heat source 75% of the time, my natural gas is going to be the backstop at 25% of the time, I know that my annual heating cost for this particular greenhouse is going to be about $31.13. Now, let's just assume that you are going to actually have to pay for your wood. You could now put in a cost per cord of $200, and you would quickly notice that the fuel cost for wood is going to far exceed the fuel cost for natural gas. And so you may choose to make different decisions based on different fuel choices that you make within your ecosystem. You can also change your fuel source to any of the other fuel sources available in here, so kilowatt hours as an example. And you can put in the cost per kilowatt hour at 15 cents. And from there, it would tell you how much it would cost to run your secondary fuel on electricity. So for the purpose of this example, we're going to stick with wood in cords. We're going to assume that the cost per cord is nothing. And we're going to keep the wood selected at jack pine. This completes the heat loss and cost sheet. I encourage you guys to play around with this and try different fuels, different percentages, and different options. And if you have any questions about this, please get in touch with us. If you're looking to design your own passive solar greenhouse and want help in choosing R value for your walls, a glazing material, the amount of heat or size of heater required to heat the greenhouse, your lighting system, thermal mass calculation, as well as designing a subterranean heating and cooling system, you will find that this tool makes passive solar greenhouse design infinitely easier. These videos will show you how to use the tool, and if you're interested in purchasing the tool for your own passive solar greenhouse design, you can find information on how to purchase the tool at Small Farm Academy in the link below.